Welcome to TMZ Live. Babcock here.
Courtney here.
We're going to start with Diddy, who court is, as we sit here right now talking, is wasting away in a prison cell in New Jersey while his twin 18-year-old daughters hang out at some of the hottest and most exclusive parties in the country.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian was there, Brooks Nader, Kaya Gerber, and also his Quincy was also there, his son.
Right. So I think this raises a very important question now. Obviously, the Diddy trial was one of the biggest celebrity moments of this year. It's something we have all followed, with bated breath. The question is now, how is Diddy, how is he treated once he finally gets out? And I think this gives a very important hint into what it'll be like for him once he is ultimately released, whether that's in 28 or it is here before.
Because it was like, do you want to be pictured with Diddy or like anyone that's like related to Diddy? Like, how do you want to go about it? Does it hurt your
Right. Let's be honest. These are pretty egregious things that Diddy was accused of. And look, he was successful in beating some of the charges. Others he wasn't. But I think the fact that you've got these two girls who are only 18 years old who are out there, who are at this party with, like you said, Kim Kardashian, other big celebrities, Charlie, I think it goes to show that he is not going to be shunned once he's finally out.
Yeah, and we know, you guys, from his team that Diddy's planning to make a huge comeback when he gets released. He wants to, go have concerts again. And we did see a lot of supporters showing up to his trial, people that wanted him to get off the hook. Obviously, though we've seen things that were so disgusting to look at, like that video of him with Cassie.
Yes.
I mean, he kind of got a pretty good deal in the end. I think a lot of people thought he was going to go to prison for 11 years. He barely even got a crumb of that. But at the same time, you would think oh, maybe Hollywood would turn their backs on him in light of the Me Too movement. But I mean, we're seeing his family still being accepted in the Hollywood scene.
I understand his family being accepted because you can't put what their father did on them.
They're 18-year-old
They're 18-year-olds. They had nothing to do. But I think it would be weird if people opened Diddy up with open arms. I know he only got the Mann Act, but you can't unhear those testimonies.
Or you know what? And even I think more so than that, and tell me if you disagree with me, it's that video. When you see it on video, there's something that's different about just hearing the details. And you could, if you're a fan of his, maybe you don't believe what people are saying, but we've seen it with our own eyes. We obviously know what happened in that Intercontinental Hotel in 2016. With all that said, I remember and it's something we've covered, going back years, when O.J. Simpson got released from prison in Nevada, I said, there's no way anyone's going to want anything to do with this guy. And that was every week we got pictures of him with people. He was he was the mayor of the city.
Right.
And I'm not so shocked. I'm not so sure that that's not going to be the case for Diddy. And again, I think the fact that his two kids were hanging out at that party, rubbing shoulders with Kim K,
the biggest celebrity in the world, in the same room with them. It does say a lot.
And make no mistake, those are people at that party. They're big stars, and they control their image, and they control
so
it.
Is Kim nervous that she's in the same party with them?
Yeah, because now, I mean, our headline is Diddy's kids are at this party, and then you're connecting it to other names in Hollywood who maybe don't, maybe they want to maintain a squeaky image, but it seems like, they don't really
want to seem pro-Diddy.
Exactly, exactly. But look, the two twins, they are known to be models. They have been in the scene for a long time, so it makes sense for them to be there. But, they can't help who their father is.
No.
Right, not their fault.
Hi, I'm Kylie from Ohio. Look, the twins, Delilah and Jesse, are not responsible for their father's actions. And I do think that I'm glad that they're able to maintain some semblance of a life for themselves post his conviction. I hope that they are able to distance themselves from the diddler of it all and move out from the shadow of the man who just so happened to father them. Their father's the monster, not them.
The one thing I would say is they were, and almost all of the kids were by his side that entire trial. Day in, day out, they'd be in the courtroom, right? So for whatever it's worth, they have not tried to distance themselves from dad.
No, they're going to support their father. They don't know what to be said. But I'm also from Ohio. Are you recovered from the Indiana loss yet in that football game?
Hardest game of the year. I will take it. We were up against the number 2 number 2 team in the nation. We had to get a little test. It was a fire.
Yes, it was definitely humbling. The question everyone wants to know, are Sydney Sweeney's boobs real? And now we have the answer because she did a lie detector test and Amanda Seyfried asked her, are your boobs real or not? And we know. And let's see here what she has to say.
There's been a question on everyone's minds recently, and I just have to ask, are your boobs real?
Yes.
Have you ever had any work done on them?
No, I've never gotten any work done anywhere. That was truthful.
Can I touch them?
Sure.
Sydney.
Yeah?
Did you lie at any point during this interview and we didn't catch you?
No. That is truthful.
See, the only thing I think is a lie about that is that Amanda said, recently people are wondering. Ever since she was on Euphoria years ago, people were wondering about her boobs.
I don't know, have people wondered? I mean, I know people talk about her boobs a lot.
I think you guys hoped that they were real.
No, I knew they were. I've studied.
To me, they were real for sure, but with today's surgeons, you really don't know.
Right.
Like,
no.
You have no idea.
I feel like girls can tell better than guys. Like, I can look at
Why
a girl's...
do you think that?
Because...
we have way more experience.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Do you know how much time I've spent studying this issue?
Do you know how much time I've spent with boobs on my body? I think we all wear
me too.
I know. Oh my God. I just lost all train of thought with that comment. I don't even know how to get back on track.
I mean, the truth is she really couldn't lie because that actually was a lie detector machine.
Do we trust the lie detector test, though? Because they can't even use them in court.
It's not admissible in court,
yeah,
right?
No, it is not.
Right.
But you could tell looking at Sydney Sweeney that they're not real. And she's even...
What's the giveaway that they're real?
Well, she even said that she wanted to get a breast reduction when she was 18. She was like, they're too big, they're too much. And her mom is the one who stopped her.
Every guy's thanking her mom. That would have been a crime.
That's what her mom said. She goes, you're going to regret it one day. I really think that you should just hold out, and then maybe in a few years, if you still want them,
then you get it done.
And let me tell you, it really worked out.
Hi, my name is CJ Sophia from Los Angeles. You know, I never watched her show Euphoria, but I saw Instagram videos of her. And then I genuinely thought her boobs were fake. But after the lie detector test, I like to think they were real, but I don't know.
Are you not buying the lie detector test?
I don't know. Sometimes, like, I heard that they could be, like, you know, like deceiving. So we'll see about that.
I think just so some women or some people wanted them to be fake because they are perfection.
Justin Bieber is returning to the spot where you could argue at least launched his career and made him one of the biggest pop stars in the entire world, Court.
Yes, he did.
He's going back to the location where he shot, back in 2010, the music video for his song, Baby. Now,
it was such a good music video.
Do you remember? I mean, Justin's 31 years old now, so you go back 15 years. He was 15, 16 years old. And Short Court, while he had released music before, this really, I think, was the first song that just was...
It launched him.
Everywhere.
It set his career up for just like what he was going to be.
It did. And obviously, we're still talking to Justin Bieber to this day, still one of the biggest stars going. So...
I still think one of his best songs till this day.
I agree.
So
he
good.
goes back to this bowling alley. He's got some friends with him, and he basically recreated the music video.
I'm in pieces, baby, fix me, and just shake me till you wake me from this bad dream.
Yeah.
I'm going down, 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 and I just can't believe my first love will be around.
Oh my God, I'm so sad. It's such a good song.
And it's closed. It's not even open anymore, Court.
His voice is so good.
Yeah.
You just forget how talented Justin Bieber really is. I do think he did drop the ball. He should have brought his baby and Hailey Bieber there.
That would have been cute.
It's like, come on.
Because it's interesting. Like, so much has happened with Justin, right? Like, I think
he's no longer with Scooter Braun, which, like, Scooter Braun obviously was that.
Scooter was probably behind that camera when they shot that video in 2010. And it's different now for Justin. Like you said, he's married, he's got Hailey, he's got his little baby. So life is different, but it's pretty cool to see him go back to that place that, again, you could argue launched his career.
Yeah, this video melted my heart when I saw it.
It was really cute.
Oh my God, it was so good. I love the song.
Coming up.
We are seeing a side of Taylor Swift that we may have never have seen before, Courtney, an incredibly emotional Taylor Swift. Now, Taylor Swift was on her way, Courtney, to meet the families of the people affected by that absolutely horrific mass stabbing incident in Southport, United Kingdom.
Be right back.
We are seeing a side of Taylor Swift that we may have never have seen before, Courtney, an incredibly emotional Taylor Swift. Now, this video, we're going to show you it in just a second here, is part of the new docuseries that dropped on Disney Plus called The End of an Era. And while there's a lot of really cool, exciting things in the series, there is also a moment where Taylor Swift was on her way, Courtney, to meet the families of the people affected by that absolutely horrific July 29, 2024 mass stabbing incident at a dance studio in Southport, United Kingdom, that terribly took the lives of 3 children. Again, this is video of Taylor actually going to meet with the families. Take a look.
I'm gonna meet some of these families tonight and put on a pop concert, you know?
It was heartbreaking to like when I was watching it last night. I got so teary-eyed.
Really?
Even just watching it there, it's so sad because
so
Taylor.
heavy.
It was just such a sad event that happened, and Taylor Swift cares so much about her fans.
It was
so
like a Taylor Swift themed party dance class,
it
right?
was a Taylor Swift themed dance class, but the fact that she was always going to take the time to go meet these families.
Yeah.
She always gives back to her fans, but the fact that these are children, it just hits so different. And to see her break down like that, you never really see Taylor break down like that. She's always so strong, just so always on
I don't think
her
I've ever
game.
seen her cry before.
The last time we saw her cry was in the Miss Americana documentary.
Yeah.
She got a little teary-eyed when she was talking about politics, and then when she was on a phone call about the Grammys and she cried. But neither of those are as sad as this. This is devastating, crying.
Right. I mean, her image is, and kudos to her for doing this, but she's so protective over her image, and you never really see anything that she doesn't want you to see. And not saying she's not real, but you could just tell how hurt she was by that. I mean, these were obviously, anytime anything happens to anybody, but no less a child, and then they were big fans of hers because it's a Taylor Swift dance class. It's just horrible, and you can only imagine how much it was weighing on her, and you see it on her face.
Well, and you're never going to be able to take away the pain from what the family is going through, but the fact that Taylor just goes to even meet with them, I'm sure it meant so much
that
to
she
them.
could do that and then do a 3.5-hour show where she's just a pop star is insane.
Right, it shows how talented she is. Nobody would have known that night that anything was wrong or that she was sad or upset or that this happened hours earlier. Nobody would have known. It's a tribute, I think, to her as the professional performer that she is. But she is also a human being, as you saw.
Hi, my name is Stephanie from Connecticut. I know we're used to seeing Taylor Swift as this untouchable person who's always in control of her image, and she's kind of damned if she does, damned if she doesn't. If she stays silent, then she doesn't care. She's heartless. She's a heartless billionaire. But then if she lets her emotions show and it potentially affects the show, then, people save so much money to go see her live and she ruined the event. But I'm so glad that she is showing raw and real emotion, and I highly doubt that most people could deal with the pressures of her job and then go on stage, lock it all in, and perform for 3 hours. So as somebody who went to see her show in the UK, I can honestly say this was so heart-wrenching to watch, but also such an amazing human side to her that I was so happy to see.
And I think Taylor knows that it's very important that people also get to see the human side of her and that the stuff that she does, not just this image and
I could not agree more with what you guys said. I don't think she's got haters like any superstar does. I don't think there's anybody out there that could have any issue with what Taylor Swift said there. Perfectly done. We're learning more about the saga of Andy Dick, which feels like a story that is a ticking time bomb, sadly. Of course, on Tuesday, we had that video. We saw that video of Andy Dick, who was overdosing on the streets of Hollywood. On Wednesday, he invited us into his home and said that he had no plans to go to rehab. Well,
doesn't think he has a problem.
No, does not think he has a problem. Well, not the feeling of people who are around Andy and sort of know what his day in, day out life looks like these days, Court, because we've spoken with people who say his problem not even really drugs, that he is addicted to alcohol and somebody who is just almost from morning to night, just drinking and drinking and drinking. And it is, again, it feels like a story that if he doesn't get help is going to end badly. Now,
and he has been in rehab multiple times for alcohol. And someone who has actually treated Andy Dick in the past is Dr. Drew, and we actually spoke to him about this topic.
Andy has been out now for a long time. using, mostly alcohol. He has been treated and treated and treated. And when he's in a structured environment like sober living, he does beautifully. And when he is sober, he is truly one of the most lovable persons and lovely people you'd ever want to meet. Anyone that loves Andy or has a friendship with him or just a relationship with him, it scares us to death. Of course, this is a life-threatening illness. It's a progressive illness that ends in death. And people tend to forget, old school alcoholism is just as dangerous as opiate and meth addiction on the streets today.
And that's what's so scary, because he has to get the help that he wants, and he has to keep working on it. And his family, no one can do it. He has to do it himself.
Can't force him to do it.
And that's the sad part. He doesn't want any help right now.
That is the first thing that you have to do. I'm in recovery. I'm going to be 3 years sober in February. And until I admitted that I needed help, it doesn't matter what relationships were destroyed, what crazy things happened to me. Until you admit that you need help and you have that little window of willingness, they're not going to get sober.
Yeah.
And I understand what people are saying, he was more of a drinker. He wasn't even that into drugs, but alcohol is a drug.
Yeah. Right.
Full stop.
And can kill you.
And exactly, it kills you more than a lot of things that are illegal.
Yeah. Right.
But at the end of the day, it's like when you're that drunk, especially if he's drinking vodka all day into the night, you could put any drug in front of me, and then I'm going to do the drug.
Right.
So it all kind of is just this endless cycle.
I think the hope is that at some point soon, before it's too late, Andy Dick realizes that he desperately needs help, and he goes and gets it. Obviously, there are people who are willing to ride along on this journey with him.
This is a sad story. Hi, it is Jamie in Chicago, and my heart goes out to Andy. Addiction is progressive. Addiction is a self battle, right? You have to want it. You have to fight for it yourself. And Andy is a sweet soul. And so this just breaks my heart to hear this, see this, and I just want the best for Andy. I'm truly heartbroken to hear this.
Coming up.
There has been a massive development in the world of entertainment. And I think we thought that at some point this would happen. I just did not think, Court, that it was going to involve Disney.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
BB Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too. Did you just say look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at.
There has been a massive development in the world of entertainment. And I think we thought that at some point this would happen. I just did not think, Court, that it was going to involve Disney.
No, Disney is so protective of all of their stuff. So this was shocking.
Right, of their intellectual property.
Yes.
So Walt Disney and OpenAI, of course, the people behind Sora and ChatGPT, have reached an agreement where Disney now becomes the first major content licensing partner of Sora.
For $1 billion.
Right. In other words, you're going to get to use the Disney characters and put them in these crazy situations, right? Whatever artificial intelligence can do.
Like Minnie Mouse, some of the Marvel characters,
right. Pixar.
Yes.
I mean, they've got so many different characters, so many different universes. Yeah. Again, I think we agree that this seems like it's a massive development. I'm no expert, though. Somebody who is a tech expert, an entrepreneur, and the co-founder of Boosted Commerce is Keith Richman, who is joining us now. We're so fortunate to talk to you, Keith. And do I have this wrong? It feels like this is such a massive deal that has now happened, Keith. Are we wrong about that?
No, you're absolutely right. And first off, credit to Disney for taking the leap. It's a new world. They're being thoughtful, at least, about how times change. Having said that, I don't really understand why they did this deal.
Yeah, right? I know.
Why is that?
I mean, there's a couple of reasons. First off, as you just alluded to, this is intellectual property that has been meticulously cared for decades. It is well known in the creative community that the attention and the time that goes into every word spoken, every situation, every scene written, live action or animated, the amount of time, hours and years of people's lives that go into every single decision. And now suddenly they're just opening it up for anybody, with the only guardrail being an oversight committee that is going to be jointly managed. So the risk associated with letting all of this out there And we all know, as you've alluded to again, like, there are a lot of crazy situations people come up with. The risk they're taking with these characters is insane. Not to mention the slap in the face to the creative community that has spent all of this time thinking about it and making sure that it's been protected. So what message does that send to them?
Yeah, I know. That's what I was wondering, because I work in post-production on the documentary side. Do you think that like Disney's thinking like this is like a tech advantage for them? Because like you put in like Mickey Mouse and like, what's another one, like Gru, like doing something and generates it within like less than a minute. Right. Do you think that they're going to use that technology so they can put out more movies faster, so they can use that content and not have to like wait for like the graphics department and all like the renderings? This is going to be so much faster for them to be able to produce.
Well, and that's an inevitability of what you're describing, and that train's already left and will happen. The bigger question for me is twofold. Are they looking at this as a mid to long-term way of getting cheaper content? Because they have all of these channels to fill now. They have Disney Plus. Is this a way that they can let the world be a creator, just like it is happening on YouTube right now, with these new studios being created based on the skills of the creative community at large? And then they're going to be able to use this content on their channels instead of paying the creators who they've historically paid.
With all that said now, and how this industry can be very a copycat industry, is this the first domino to fall? And do we see other studios now all go in this direction?
A good question. I think the answer to that has to do with the other thing that Disney did yesterday, which is they sent a cease and desist letter to Google alleging mass copyright infringement. And so the real question is the OpenAI deal a strategic way of negotiating with Disney because they're hoping to set precedents with Google, because they're hoping to set precedents for how their content is treated, what the economics are, what controls they have? Or is this really a company that's leaning into the future and going to let it play out? And if that's the case, the other companies, would have followed suit anyway. I think, as I said, there's an inevitability to this. It's just shocking that the company that cares the most about its intellectual property is the first one to jump in.
Well, if you haven't seen this, I understand that. What's been the reaction? Because like you said, I would think that a lot of the creatives out there who have dedicated their lives to making content for Disney, they've got to kind of be like, hey, where does this leave me?
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly what I would have thought. If I was a creator in who had spent a lot of time, I would certainly be apoplectic about what's happened. On the flip side, if I was a 16-year-old kid who had ideas for what to do with these characters, I would be the most excited person in the world because I've now got the ability to make my vision come true in a way that I never would have. And there's there's an amazingness to this democratization of content, that suddenly the rest of the world has access to something that was held by a precious few. And that's a wonderful thing. Again, it's just shocking it's with these characters and this company.
Well, that's what's like so jarring, because it's like Minnie Mouse and like they're all like wholesome characters. And I would feel like they would be nervous that someone's going to do something where these characters are not so wholesome anymore in these videos that they're doing, and then just say like a little kid like sees Winnie the Pooh doing something, and you're like, oh my goodness.
Yes, I mean, that could have happened anyway. I mean, my guess is they're thinking, that's going to happen regardless. We might as well try to control it.
And just get ahead of the game.
Yeah, and the problem with that is, when it happens and you've turned a blind eye, you at least have plausible deniability. Yeah. In this case, they're sanctioning the potential misuse and hoping that the AI company, OpenAI, and them can build some regulations and guardrails around it. But either way, it's still a slap in the face to the creative community, I think.
Fascinating conversation. Keith Richmond, thank you so much for joining us and providing us your insight.
It was so nice talking with you.
Very nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
Coming up.
We have a absolutely massive trove of new photographs featuring Jeffrey Epstein and some of the most powerful people in the entire world, including the current president, Donald Trump.
Be right back.
We have a absolutely massive trove of new photographs featuring Jeffrey Epstein and some of the most powerful people in the entire world, Court. Now, these are photographs that were taken between 1990 and 2019. I mean, thousands and thousands of photographs that were today released by the House Oversight Committee. And again, featuring some of the most famous and powerful people in the entire world, including the current president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Yeah, and then you got Bill Gates, Woody Allen, Bill Clinton, Richard Branson, and Steve Bannon.
Right. Just some of the other people.
Powerful people.
Right. And look, we've known, Jason, that all those people had a relationship, knew Jeffrey Epstein. But to see these images again, it's never less shocking when you see them.
Yeah, pictures paint thousands of words, right? And so here we have a treasure trove of documents. What's interesting, you said it was the House Oversight Committee. It was actually Democrats in the House Oversight Committee who released it, which is interesting because it goes after Bill Clinton pretty hard. I mean, he is prominently featured. We've known this forever. We knew that he had relations, as we did with President Trump. But to see, like you said, to see the actual photos of President Clinton arm in arm with Jeffrey Epstein, you can't help but look at these folks in a slightly different light.
Yeah.
Bill Gates, Woody Allen,
Branson.
Richard Branson.
Right.
Richard Branson's the one, to me, that we never knew that he had. I don't think we know what has been in his past.
All the
Woody
other
Allen,
people,
certainly, Clinton, Trump. Yeah. We know these people have had sort of sketchy past. Richard Branson's the one.
That one was shocking to me for some reason.
Wasn't there also some Donald Trump branded condoms that that they also released, the House Oversight Committee?
There's a photo, right, of one condom, and it says huge on it, which means he's been saying that word forever.
That was the biggest takeaway for me when I saw that. It's like, okay, he's been saying that huge thing for decades now.
But also it had a sale price on it for $4.50, which I also think is super weird.
Yeah.
Because you think that they would just be like giving them away. I don't know.
There must be some sort of an inside joke
there
that
we're not getting here. At all.
Right. And I'm not sure I want to get it, though.
No.
Actually, I would love if any viewers know what that 450 relates to.
Yeah.
Because this is, I don't know, 2000 or something. These photos are from.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
Right.
Yeah,
It's expensive
it really
for a condom. I've been married for a long time, so you know.
And we can't show some of the.
Can we edit that out?
And we're not able to show some of the absurd sex toys that were also found. But I would say go to our website and look at the post because it is jarring about some of those photos that were released.
So like intense that we can't show them here on the show.
No.
Hi, I'm Pravi from Florida, and honestly, am I shocked? Not at all. 95,000 photos with all of the same powerful faces that we keep getting told have nothing to do with this. At this point, the cover-up is covering up nothing. The elephant in the room is pretty much doing cartwheels, and this is just showing that they're keeping up with the same narrative. And when you look at, the blackboard, when you look at the condoms, just all of the pictures, it just goes to show that they keep saying, like, why are we talking about these files? Well, maybe because the people who are saying that are the same people who don't want us digging, because this goes deep.
Yeah,
it seemingly does. And with as the information, drips and drabs, it continues to come out, and it's never less shocking. Atlanta Falcons star Bijan Robinson had a heck of a good game on Thursday Night Football, but, Court, it's not what anybody is talking about, because after his Falcons beat the Bucs, Bijan Robinson who was only 23 years old, a young guy in the NFL. He was on the post-game set, the Amazon Prime post-game set with the Thursday Night Football crew, and he used what could be considered a homophobic slur, certainly an insensitive comment. Now, the word he said, and the context matters here, was the word queer. Mm-hmm. It's the phrase that he used, talking about a game that he used to play as a kid. It's going to be bleeped here, but that's what you're hearing when the bleep. Here's Bijan Robinson.
No, you had a play where they threw it to you in the Bijan. They threw it to you in the backfield. You made the first one miss. Dead leg, 3 people cut across the field. I said, oh, this boy grew up in the backyard.
Hey, spear the that's what we do. Spear the
So,
very unfortunate that he did say that because it was a good game, but he did later apologize when he realized what he said.
Yes.
So this is what his apology was. Hey, everyone, I want to apologize for the insensitive comment I made in the broadcast. It was a football game we used to play as a child, but that's not an excuse. I recognize my mistake and will make sure to do better in the future. It's not reflective of my beliefs, and I'm so sorry for those that I offended. Seriously.
Didn't wait very long. The apology came pretty soon after he made the comment. It was Lucas being talked about in a lot of places online, and again, it kind of overshadowed his great game.
Yeah.
There's also been a lot of defense for Bijan Robinson because growing up, that was the name for it that I even remember people saying.
Yeah.
At the age, I didn't know what the word meant at all. It's just I knew that's what it was called. Right. So a lot of people were saying, look, we knew he wasn't saying anything to be mean or disrespectful to people, that it was just the phrase that they used to call that game.
It's like
very
the context
popular
that
game.
matters, right?
And so a lot of people were coming to his defense saying, look, we get it. We know you were not saying something or sharing any beliefs. And the fact that he made it clear, especially in that apology, is like, I did not mean to disrespect anybody. A lot of people are praising him for that today.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, as the honorary gay employee here to speak, not to speak for all gays, but it happens. And I think, not to sound like Babcock too, but like in this PC woke environment, we're finding these phrases that we've used all our lives to describe something as simple as a game. And we're finding out, okay, this offends people. And if it offends people, you stop doing it. He apologized right away.
Yes.
I have to give him a gay
You got to look at his heart, right?
Yeah.
I will note too,
And
right
if he
after
says it again,
Ryan Fitzpatrick was like, oh, well, or kill the carrier.
Right.
Whatever you called it,
Everyone on
knows
that
what
panel
that
knew immediately,
It was
like,
Kill
they
the
messed
Man
up.
with the Ball, where I grew up. It's like a regional game across the country, different names. I think bottom line, you've got to look at his heart. Was he trying to say something homophobic, or was it just something?
It didn't
he
feel like it was a
fully
hateful
understand?
comment.
I don't
Yeah.
think so either.
No.
Hi, I'm Nicole, calling from Los Angeles. I feel as though professional athletes are in the public eye a little too much to not be properly media trained. I mean, we see it all too often where these athletes slip up and it distracts from their physical performances, but I don't think Robinson meant it disrespectfully. However, impact does outweigh intention every time, so I'm glad he apologized.
With that said, is the apology sufficient for you, or do you forgive him, even though it seems that you feel like he did make a mistake?
Yeah, I think it was a mistake, but it wasn't an intentional one. I don't think it was malicious. I do appreciate that he apologized right away.
Absolutely. I can promise you he's never going to say that again, so he learned his lesson.
Coming up.
Well, it is holiday season, Courtney, and people are turning to a very different place for their holiday shopping. They're turning somewhere else, and we are going to turn to our resident expert, the guy who is the godfather of live selling.
Be right back.
Well, it is holiday season, Courtney, and people are turning to a very different place for their holiday shopping. They're turning somewhere else, and we are going to turn to our resident expert, the guy who is the godfather of live selling.
Yes.
The great Shark Tank star, Damon John, as we follow the money. Damon, brother, how are you? Looking sharp as usual with the hat.
Thank you. I'm over here wrapping gifts at the office. Thank you. And here's how I wrap gifts. Can you wrap that for me? Can you wrap that for me?
That's the best way, David.
You sound like me to my
Happy
sisters.
holidays.
Happy holidays, Damon. All right, we've got to get into this, Damon. I talked about people turning to a different place for gift buying.
TikTok shopping.
Right.
I am one of those people
Yes.
that are using it all too often.
It's not like QVC anymore, Damon. When I was a kid, where you might call and you place your order, right? Like Courtney said, people are literally going to TikTok and buying things, and buying a lot of things.
Because it almost doesn't even feel like shopping anymore.
So what's going on with this, Damon? Is this the new trend here, and are we seeing people make a lot of money? I know Kim Kardashian's made a lot of money.
Oh my God, this is not only the new trend. By the way, QVC has the top 4 channels on TikTok. It is actually TikTok in your pocket. But by the way, this is how every one of us who are on a budget out there shopping for for our loved ones, this is where you buy TikTok shop. But you know what I really like? I like Whatnot. I have no investment in the platform Whatnot, but I went on there on a company called Cool Kicks, and you sell things within 15 seconds to 30-second auctions. You don't only sell it just for people who want to buy it for Christmas. You can buy 4 pair of jeans for about like $50 that are worth $200. And then, so listen, this is where we're going. And places like TikTok Shop and places like Whatnot, you can make a lot of money selling what you have or buying what you need for the people you love.
You can, but do you think there's really like longevity as like as a consumer? Because I know I've done personally a lot of shopping on it, but I almost like forget what brand I'm shopping for just because like you're scrolling so much and just seeing like, oh my God, that's a cute pair of jeans, cute shirt. And I forget like what brand I'm actually buying. So do you think there's actually a longevity to build customer relations with TikTok shopping?
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be bigger than ever because, often when you go through the streets, you buy things at random places. But these people, remember, unlike a store where you buy something, they don't know who you are. These people know who you are and they can go to you discounts and upsell you and various other things. I'll give you an example. I met a kid one day and he said he had a problem. I said, what's your problem? He said, I need to invest $1.5 million. I'm in college. I said, how do you get $1.5 million?
Sounds like a good problem.
He said, yeah. He said he goes up and down all the main streets in America. He says, hi. Mr. and Mrs. who may be a little more mature, they're not on social media. He says, can I open up my phone for 1 hour or 2 hours and sell as much inventory as I can in your place? You give me 50% of the profit. They already paid for the goods. He helps move the goods. Now he has 1.5 or $1.6 million because he does it every single day for 2 hours.
Wow.
And that's all he does. Main Street, store to store to store. So this is amazing. It's great. Listen, at the end of the day, company like Whatnot, they're doing 16 million a day. You may not have ever heard of them, but I'll give you an example. Lululemon only does 30 million a day, and they're one of the biggest brands in the world. So there you have it. Live selling is where it's at for every single person on here, whether you are a buyer, a seller, or both.
Damon, is this like the final nail in the coffin then for retail stores or for brick and mortar stores? I feel like online shopping obviously had a massive impact on the brick and mortar store. Is it go away?
No, brick and mortar store, listen, at the end of the day, Amazon's going to keep getting bigger. They're going to do this type of stuff because they're not making no more malls. But at the end of the day, if you are selling an experience, Sephora, Nike, a great place with drops and cool things, that's a good place to get your customer and then say, and when you go home tonight, if you like more and your husband didn't want you, your wife didn't want you to buy more, follow us on TikTok shops. So this is really great. This is a lead gen to people. So that's exactly what it is. It's a great opportunity for everybody out there. And I think this is great. People need to go on there, take advantage of it, and buy things that you would normally pay $100, buy it for $20 right now.
You have a lot of companies with the Shark Tank. Are you advising them to do like TikTok shopping, all of those for the holiday seasons?
That's a really great point. By the way, I am not investing in any company if they don't come on the show and tell me that they have some level of live selling. They didn't have to open a retail stop. They didn't have to do anything else. So if they're too lazy to flip open their phone and try to sell, I don't want any of it because you know what? They're a dinosaur. They will never listen.
Do you think that like the companies though that they should create their own presence, or should they use like influencers and other like content creators to push their products?
That is a great point. You should definitely use other content creators because you're borrowing their audience, but they all come in at the end of the day and then start to like your brand or not. But if you're a content creator, you can pop around to a lot of different sites and or other stores and say, hey, I want to just host for an hour with you. And then I'll go to another location, go and see who treats you the best, who gives you the best deals, who has the best audience. It's really social media just being more active. If you see people on social media, you really love their content or what they're saying or doing, then all you're doing now is buying something because you believe in their extension of what they believe in. You want to dress like them, look like them, stay healthy like them, whatever, or treat yourself. Like the people on my social media, they wonder why I wear a top hat. Wear a top hat because I keep my Once Upon a Coconut in my top hat. I'm sorry. Was that just a plug? Did I just plug? Did I just always be selling? I told you that ABC always be selling.
How did you keep that can underneath that hat the whole time?
I don't know. It was hurting my head. You got to see what we do on Shark Tank, man.
Amazing. David, it's always so good to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Shout out to John Lewis and a great artist. I always highlight artists. This is done by Yigal Ozeri. This is a hand-painted picture of him. It takes him about 3 months to do that.
Oh my
Thank you always for highlighting artists and and this is by Ethan Cohen Gallery.
Wow. That looks like a photograph. Damon, thank you so much, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, Damon.
Coming up.
Former Michigan coach Sherrone Moore has finally been charged. This is some really serious stuff. He was fired after the university says he had an inappropriate relationship with a staffer. It got even crazier from there because he allegedly lost it at that point.
Be right back.
Former Michigan coach Sherrone Moore has finally been charged. And this is some really serious stuff. He was fired after the university says he had an inappropriate relationship with a staffer. Sherrone Moore was taken into custody Wednesday night. Now, he had been held until a little bit earlier today when he appeared in front of a judge in a Michigan court. And that's when we learned what these charges were. So we've got 3 charges. Felony home invasion. We've got a breaking and entering charge, which is a misdemeanor, as well as a stalking charge.
Yes, so the staffer broke up with him on Monday, and then all these incidents happened on Wednesday evening.
Right. So they really laid that out in court today. They said, like court said, she breaks up with him on Monday after some time dating, which Shannon will get into in a second. She breaks up with him, and then he allegedly does not accept that. And he starts blowing her up. He begins stalking her. She ultimately then allegedly goes to the school on Wednesday, Derek, and shortly after then the school takes action.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing has fallen apart quite quickly. You know, the stalking charge and the home invasion he apparently, according to prosecutors, went into her home and threatened to kill himself in front of her and say that the blood would be on your hands. Ruined his life. He had obviously just been fired from one of the most storied college programs in the world. And so he was obviously very, very upset about that. Now, he was arrested at that point and then not held involuntarily, apparently agreed to a mental health evaluation at that point and has had 2 of those evaluations already, according to the court documents, but now he's been released subsequently on, I think, $25,000 bond, given the nature of the charge.
He has to wear an ankle monitor, and he's not allowed to have any weapons.
But can I ask you something? Sure. Didn't mean to cut you off. Can I ask you something as a lawyer? Should the staffer, because the staffer seems like she's still employed at this school, should she be held accountable for this situation? Because what they revealed, the shocking detail was that they've been dating for years, and mind you, he's a married man, has 3 kids. It's not like his marriage was.
But that's on him, right?
In the eyes of the law,
both of them.
Well, hold on. In the eyes of the law, she's a victim of these crimes. He was stalking, breaking and entering. It was her home and invasion.
I'm not saying he's innocent of that. I'm just saying that
for the relationship,
the relationship at the school, the improper relationship.
The thing I would say
knew he was a married man and so forth. He had just had 2 twins, I believe.
The thing I'd say is he was arguably the most powerful person on the campus, and she obviously
responsibility.
He is her superior, so I think
that just as
that plays in here. But look, bottom line is we did not know the charges until this morning, and now we know for certain he is in a world of trouble. Obviously, just accusations right now, has not been convicted of anything. But what a fall from grace.
His next court date is next January.
Yeah, it's January 22nd, 9 a.m. That's what he'll be in court next time.
Stevie Derry, Indianapolis, Indiana. In my honest opinion, I believe anyone who brings trauma or harm to anyone and compromises their safety should get what's coming to them. I really just hope Sherrone learns a valuable lesson from all of this to just stick to himself and stay out of trouble, because he's in a lot of trouble right now.
Coming up.
I am super excited for this. This is one of the best songs ever. Smells Like Teen Spirit, of course, a Nirvana classic. But we're going to hear Bruno Mars' rendition.
Also with Slash from Guns N' Roses and Chad Smith. Red Hot Chili Peppers. How can you leave them out?
Legends.
Be right back.
I am super excited for this. We're about to hear, Court, this is one of the best songs ever. Smells Like Teen Spirit, of course, a Nirvana classic. But we're going to hear Bruno Mars' rendition. So there was
Also with Slash from Guns N' Roses and Chad Smith. Red Hot Chili Peppers. How can you leave them out?
Legends. There was a party going down last night in Port Chester, New York. Bunch of celebrities, not just performing. There were celebrities that were in the audience. As a matter of fact, the video we're going to show you is Orlando Bloom's video. Without further ado, here is Slash, Chad Smith, and Bruno Mars performing Smells Like Teen Spirit.
I love it because they all have amazing songs, all 3 of them. But this song just hits and everyone just loves it.
Bruno Mars, huge star. I mean, Chad Smith, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Slash. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised, but they sounded great.
You should not be surprised.
Good job, guys.
Have a nice weekend.